Hip-hop since 1987.com.
Hip-hop since 1987. We live right now, ATL, Dazed Arts, ATL. Special shout out to them for having us here today. And I'm with the one and only Sammie. How you feeling today?
I'm good, brother. How you?
I'm magnificent. Now, we recently caught up during one of your video shoots. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But I understand you got a lot in the works as far as 2015 is concerned. 2 new singles, an album on the way.
Yeah.
And you're also transitioning back to Sammie from Leigh Bush.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the transition that's been going on so far.
I always knew I was going to come back to the Sammie brand. From an underground standpoint, like 100,000, 200,000 people knew about the Leigh Bush project. We did an EP 2 years ago, and I was just thinking it would be dope to expand the Sammie brand, but also I think as a marketing ploy to spark conversation, a great conversation piece to go by my middle and last name for a minute. But I knew when I came back mainstream that the hearts was won over by Sammie, you know what I'm saying, since I was a kid, so it only made sense. And then, you know, we just dropped Show Me with Ying Yang Twins, and then my official single, Had a Few, will be dropping in 2 weeks. So I wanted to reintroduce myself to the fans that grew up with me and also introduce myself to the new audience, and I think that it makes sense just to go back to that brand that they fell in love with.
Now, I want to find out more about Had a Few, because as I mentioned previously, I was at that video shoot. I understand you got a lot in store with that.
Yeah.
But you recently, as you just said, put out a single, Show Me, featuring the Ying Yang Twins, taking it back to the heart of Atlanta, and two artists who are at the core of Atlanta sound and really helped Atlanta boom back in the, I'll say, the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. So why did you guys hook up for this track, Show Me?
You know, we're in a generation where everybody want to have a good time, turn up, party, and just let their hair down, so to speak. So I felt like they were the originators of turn up. We just called it crunk back then. You know what I'm saying? It was crunk music. So the innovators for that is Lil Jon and Scrappy and Ying Yang Twins. And I was flying to LA, going through some records that my engineer actually picked from me. Shout out to Mr. Hankey for producing the joint. And I heard it, and it had that DJ Mustard bounce, and I think it was a given, of course, to probably go get like a YG or a Kid Ink or a Tiger to keep that West Coast bounce, but I'm in the A, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring it back to the innovators of that. And again, introduce them to the new generation that may not know who Ying Yang Twins are, but also reintroduce them to the generation I grew up with. You know what I mean? I remember in high school, like when Salt Shaker came on, or To the Window, to the Wall, like you would find your little spot on the wall and girls would twerk on you and be crazy. I just wanted to bring that vibe back to the industry. I feel like we can't forget where things came from and derived from. So it was my way paying homage to them. So shout out to Collie Park and Derek and, of course, the Ying Yang Twins for hopping on the record. And I'm excited about it.
Now, you've been in the game for some time. You entered the game as a youngin', and you started from the door doing your thing. And now we have you here now. You're a grown man. You went through different experiences in life. So talk to me about your growth as an artist from then until now.
I've grown substantially. I was 12 years old when I dropped my first album, or 13 when the album came out, but 12 years old when I Like It, which was my first #1, came out. I'm 28 now, so I've grown substantially from relationships, encounters with women, some great, some bad. I've been an amazing man. I've been a terrible boyfriend, so I try to put all that into my music and try to be as transparent and honest as possible. I think that fans can appreciate the organicness of it all. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing fabricated. I don't have to put on this costume every day. I'm Sammie, you know, every day. So in a time where social media is very essential, I think it's very, very important to be honest. So my music is just so true and passionate and heartfelt, and I think that's lacking in R&B. Again, we've become so turned up and hip-hop driven that we forgot to sing and serenade these girls and give them something that they can feel, you know what I'm saying, opposed to just something they can dance to.
Now, I'm glad you actually said that, because that leads up into my next question, the current state of R&B. Having 16 years in the music business, you've seen a lot. You know, we grew up in a time where R&B was your Babyface, Casey and JoJo.
Joe,
now, Joe, Tank, a lot of cats who were composers of music, not just R&B stars. We have a few left today, but the R&B game isn't what it used to be. What are your thoughts on the current state of R&B, and how do you feel your music and your sound will bring R&B back to its essence?
I mean, honestly, it's a dying genre. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need to look at it as that. So it's up to us. So when I say us, myself, and then the Trey Songz and Chris Browns of the world, etc., to resurrect it. You know what I mean? We have the talent, we have the artists, and for some of us, we have the backing from label supports or whatever your situation is to push your music out there the correct way. But I challenge myself and my peers to just create everlasting music. Don't get caught up in trends. You know what I'm saying? Like, the turn up is only for this time. 5-10 years from now, we won't be doing the same turn up music. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna forever evolve. So it's unfortunate that it's a dying genre, because I also believe that like R&B makes the world go round. You know what I mean? Although hip hop has been dominant for the last 2 decades, it's nothing like putting in an R&B album, because it can make you feel happy, sad, sex, love, hate, make up, break up. Like, those are things that we as humans experience in relationships. So those are messages we should convey in our music. And for some reason, like I said, we've just become so sidetracked with what rappers and hip hop, artists are doing, that you got rappers singing, you know what I'm saying, and we got singers rapping. So somehow that shit just got flip-flop, you feel me? And I think we just need to come back to the core and do real music again, you know what I mean? And I think it's coming back around, and I also know that the fans do appreciate it and want it. We just got to put it out there for them, and then the labels, of course, have to endorse us so we can get it back right.
Well, if R&B is a dying breed, I believe that you plan on reviving it with your single "Had a Few."
For sure.
Now, talk to me about the single "Had a Few," and also give us a little bit of insight about the upcoming visual for that.
Man, so I've been going for a long time, so I knew I was going to have to hit them with like a 1-2 punch. So Show Me is just the buzz single, you know what I'm saying? That's for the club, that's for the strippers to twerk to and have a good time with, and the DJs to do their thing. But Had a Few is the core of who Sammie is as an artist. It's a very heartfelt record. My album is entitled Blue Orchid, due out sometime later this year. But the basis of it is about a man who's conflicted with trying to find love, but being used to women, a plethora, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I met the right one, would I be able to be right for her? You know what I'm saying? And I think every man faces that. That's very honest. And every female has dealt with a man that has that dilemma. So why not create music about it? You know what I mean? Because it's very relatable. So Had a Few is just telling this girl, like, one of the most, I guess, dopest lines to me in the record is like, it breaks my heart to break your heart, but I had a few. Like, you're telling her, like, oh, I didn't cheat with just one girl. Like, I've had a few of them. I had a few of these weak moments. And it's just a relatable record. It's not condoning cheating or infidelity. It's just manning up and looking in the mirror. We all have demons as humans. I think facing it is like the hard part. So for me to be able to say, all right, women can be my vice, that's already like a step in the right direction. So now I know how to kind of elude certain situations, or now I know how to kill certain side of me and give life to the good side of being a man, in a relationship. So Had a Few is a real honest, vulnerable record. Shout out to Melon Moose and Matazio and Trey and Dash and my management team we came together and created an amazing record, and I'm excited.
Now, you just gave mention to an upcoming album that you'll have coming out later this year.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about why you chose to go with that title, and give me a little bit of insight of what we could possibly expect.
Blue Orchid. I don't really like things that's like on the surface, so I thought the title was dope because it's the prettiest flower I've ever seen, and the album is about one of the most beautiful spirits I've ever dated. It's about my ex-girlfriend. A lot of the material, probably like 80%, derived from that.
Well said.
So it's a metaphor to her, you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying her name, I call her Blue Orchid. So the album is based around things that she's put me through, things I put her through. And then, like I said, with social media and people putting their feelings all over the internet every day, you get to kind of see that you're not alone in certain situations. So it's an album that's based around, like I said, a young man that I love music. With music and fame and money comes women, and these things conflict when you're trying to be monogamous with one woman, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you think you want greatness and you're ready for your wife, and God will give it to you, and you're not ready for it, you know what I'm saying? And one mistake will alter the outcome, you know what I'm saying? I don't care how good you do, you don't get credit for like weaving 9 girls but sleeping with the 10th one, you know what I'm saying? That's all bad. So Blue Orchid is about her, you know what I mean? And is that title, she'll know where it derived from, but I thought it would be dope because the material is sparked and inspired by her.
Now, I know you do a lot more than just singing and composing songs. Right. So as 2015 continues, what else can we expect from Sammie?
We're doing a lot of merchandise. I have my own company, Star Camp Music. I signed myself to myself in 2009 just to have more control of my career, what I sound like, what I talk like, walk like, etc. So we got this little hoodies. We're doing. I love hoodies. I feel like they're seasonal. I don't care if it's like 90 degrees outside. It's always convenient for me. So definitely want to tap into the merchandise. I start acting classes next month just to tap into Hollywood a little bit. I signed out to an acting agency out there. I never wanted to just dabble into it though, just because I was Sammie. I kind of respect the craft so much that I want to be great when I touch the big screen. So look out for that. I've been working on a book called Good to Know for like 2 years. It's just hard to complete it because it's kind of hard for me to separate the author Sammie and the artist Sammie. But it's pretty much about the psyche of a man. Like I read Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man. And I don't disagree with nothing, but I also don't want my woman to think like me. You know what I'm saying? I want my woman to be a woman. I want to be a man, and I want us to just understand each other and understand how different we are. I think that's why a lot of relationships fail, because we don't take time to learn one another. You see a physical attraction, you click, you have sex, it might bring you a little closer, and then you rock. You know what I'm saying? When there's flaws that I didn't learn. So I'm forced to learn the real you while I'm in the situation, when I could have got to know the real you before I got into it. So the book is about understanding and breaking down the differences between a male and female. We're substantially different. You know what I'm saying? We run off pride. Women run off emotions. We shouldn't fight that. That's what it is. That's how we were created. Now let's tackle that. Let's see how we can coexist. So I'm excited because I think that I'm 28, so we need a voice for our generation. Like Steve Harvey's 50 years old or somewhere around there. He's married, and the way he grew up was not the way we grew up.
Been married 80 times.
Yeah, but see, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just think that where's the voice for our generation, though? Like, where's the voice for, we have the world in the palm of our hands. I could take my phone out, see a pretty girl in L.A. that I never met, slide in her DMs or vice versa, and now we're like besties, you know what I'm saying? Like, so with access like that, that's more distractions for a relationship. We need to talk about things like that, so I'm excited about that. But the main thing, of course, is the music. Had a few, Show Me. I released the EP on my birthday just for the fans to marinate on. It's called Series 3187. I was born March 1st, 1987, so that's the symbolism behind that. So just flooding them with great music, man, for them to marinate on and enjoy and impact their hearts and just remind them why they fell in love with me in the first place.
If people want to stay in tune with your movement via social media, how would they go about doing so?
Yeah, I just switched back from the Leigh Bush brand, so we're Sammie Always, SammieAlways. Sammie Always is my Instagram, it's my Twitter, and then right now the website is LeighBush.com, but that will also be SammieAlways.com in like a week or so. So we're keeping it simple for everybody to follow. I'm here to stay, no more switching up.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Y'all know what it is. Hip hop since 1987. We're live in Atlanta. Dazed Arts. If you're ever in Atlanta, make sure you get to this location. Stay tuned to Hip Hop since 1987 for a lot more from Sammie.
Hip Hop since 1987.com.
I can relate to my character in some ways, you know, with the ladies. That's easy. That's not hard, of course. You know.
I'm gonna touch on that, man, because you got a lot of guys jealous with you.
Very
the
jealous.
Ladies, man, you and Naomi Campbell
You gotta
plays
thank
Carmelo
Leigh
on the
Daniels
show.
for that one.
Hey, I'm not thanking him. I'm one of the haters, you know.